Oh, yeah. Every frame, every second. We created this space where women can get together and support one another and share their lives together. And
Melissa Gilbert finally spills the truth about her private life, and fans can't believe what she's revealed. Born Melissa Ellen Gilbert on May 8, 1964, in Los Angeles, California, she entered the world already destined for the spotlight. Adopted right after birth by actor and comedian Paul Gilbert and his wife Barbara Crane, a former dancer and actress, Melissa's childhood was filled with lights, laughter, and showbiz energy from day one. It didn't take long for everyone around her to realize she was made for the camera. Even as a kid, Melissa had this natural glow, a kind of confidence and charm that couldn't be taught. While most kids were still learning their ABCs, she was already landing TV commercials and guest spots, showing off a raw honesty in her acting that made her unforgettable. There was something real about her, something that made people stop and pay attention every time she appeared on screen. Then came the moment that changed everything. In 1974, at just 9 years old, she snagged the role of a lifetime, Laura Ingalls in Little House on the Prairie. Based on Laura Ingalls Wilder's beloved books, the series became a massive hit and a staple of American family television. Viewers instantly fell in love with Melissa's mix of curiosity, bravery, and heart. She was Laura in every sense of the word. Week after week, fans watched Laura grow up on screen, and at the same time, they watched Melissa grow up too. She faced storylines about loss, faith, and responsibility with a depth way beyond her years. Every episode proved that she wasn't just acting. She was living those emotions, pouring her heart into every scene. Melissa rose to the challenge with a level of maturity that stunned everyone. Even decades later, her performances still hit deep. Working side by side with Michael Landon, who not only played her on-screen father Charles Ingalls, but also guided the entire show behind the scenes, she learned lessons that would shape her forever. Michael wasn't just a co-star, he became her mentor, teaching her the discipline it takes to stay grounded, the importance of being emotionally real, and how powerful television can be when it truly connects with people's hearts. The bond Melissa built with the Little House on the Prairie, cast and crew, was like a second family. They laughed together, cried together, and grew together in front of millions of viewers. That tight-knit connection left a mark on her that never faded. Even after the show ended in 1983, the legacy lived on. Fans couldn't forget Laura Ingalls, and to them, Melissa wasn't just playing a character, she was that character. For generations of viewers, Laura Ingalls was more than a name. She was the friend they grew up with, the symbol of resilience and kindness that carried them through childhood. And behind that magic was Melissa Gilbert, a name forever tied to strength, warmth, and authenticity. But stepping from child stardom into adulthood was no easy ride, and Melissa had to fight hard to prove she was more than just that sweet prairie girl. After Little House, she hustled non-stop, determined to reshape her image. From stage plays to TV dramas and movies, she threw herself into every project. Her role as Helen Keller in The Miracle Worker was a turning point, a performance packed with raw emotion and fearless commitment that showed she was ready for anything. When Melissa stepped onto the stage, something inside her came alive. Theater gave her the freedom she'd been craving, a chance to break free from the sweet, perfect image everyone remembered from Little House on the Prairie. In live productions, she could explore bold, complicated roles that showed just how much she'd grown as an artist. But behind the curtains, her real life told a much more turbulent story. Growing up under constant public attention took a heavy toll, and Melissa has never shied away from admitting it. She's spoken openly about the overwhelming pressure of fame, her complicated family ties, and the emotional battles she faced, including her struggles with addiction and self-doubt. Instead of pretending everything was fine, Melissa decided to face her truth head-on. She turned her pain into power, using raw honesty as her form of healing. That courage to be transparent became one of the most inspiring parts of her story. By opening up about the darker sides of her journey, she shattered the illusion of the perfect child star and gave others permission to be real about their own struggles too. Her vulnerability became her strength, and fans respected her even more for it. But Melissa didn't just stop at acting. She made her mark behind the scenes too. From 2001 to 2005, she served as president of the Screen Actors Guild, and get this, she was one of the youngest people ever to take on that role. She fought hard for performer rights, standing up for actors as the industry went through massive changes. Her leadership came from experience. She knew firsthand how brutal the business could be, especially for kids thrown into fame before they even understood what it meant. Melissa's journey, both personal and professional, played out in the spotlight for the world to see. Her life reflected the raw emotions of someone who grew up too fast, navigating fame, heartbreak, and responsibility, all before most people finish finding themselves. And through it all, she proved that even when the world's watching, you can still rise stronger than ever. Melissa Gilbert's teenage years were nothing short of headline material. Her young romances were splashed across magazines and tabloids everywhere, keeping fans hooked on every update. While most teens were going to prom, Melissa was dating two future Hollywood legends, Tom Cruise and Rob Lowe. These whirlwind relationships became pure pop culture gold, the kind of stories people still whisper about decades later. And remember, at that point, Melissa was already a household name thanks to Little House on the Prairie. Everyone wanted to know who America's sweetheart was dating next. Those early flings didn't last long, but they definitely left their mark. They introduced her to the highs and lows of love under the spotlight, the excitement, the heartbreak, and the reality of dating when everyone's watching. Those experiences taught her a lot about herself and what she really wanted in love, lessons that would shape her emotional growth and her expectations in future relationships. Then came a major turning point. On February 22, 1988, Melissa took a huge step and married actor and producer Beau Brinkman. After spending so many years growing up on TV sets instead of in a typical home, she craved stability, something real. Beau, who also knew the chaos of show business, seemed to understand her world perfectly. Their connection was built on shared experience and a search for something solid in the middle of Hollywood's madness. That marriage marked a new chapter for Melissa, the moment she shifted from being the sweet child star to a grown woman ready to build a life of her own. Soon after, the couple welcomed their son, Dakota Paul Brinkman, a moment that changed everything. Becoming a mother gave Melissa a whole new purpose and strength. She said that motherhood grounded her in ways fame never could. It gave her something deeper, something real to hold on to when the cameras stopped rolling. Even though Melissa and Beau Brinkman shared big dreams and the joy of raising their son, cracks started to show behind the scenes. By 1992, after 4 years together, the pressure and emotional distance became too much to bear, and they made the painful decision to divorce. The split was tough on Melissa. It wasn't just the end of a marriage, but the end of what she thought would be her forever. Still, she refused to let heartbreak define her. Melissa stayed devoted to co-parenting Dakota, making sure he grew up surrounded by love and stability no matter what happened between his parents. But Melissa never gave up on love. On January 1, 1995, she took another leap of faith and married actor Bruce Boxleitner, a man who brought wisdom, patience, and experience into her life. Bruce, already respected in both TV and film, seemed like the steady hand Melissa had been searching for. Their wedding felt like a fresh beginning, a chance to rebuild her idea of family and finally find balance in a world that had rarely given her peace. That same year, on October 6, 1995, Melissa welcomed her second son, Michael. The name wasn't chosen at random. It carried deep meaning. She named him in honor of Michael Landon, the man who had once played her father on Little House on the Prairie and who had been a true mentor and protector to her in real life. It was her way of keeping his spirit alive, a powerful tribute filled with love and gratitude. Michael Landon's impact on her went way beyond the screen. He shaped her beliefs, her confidence, and her understanding of what family really means. For a while, it seemed like Melissa and Bruce had built something strong together, a blended family filled with respect, care, and genuine affection. It looked like she had finally found the calm after so many storms. But as time went on, cracks began to appear in Melissa and Bruce's marriage. The juggling act of two busy careers, parenting responsibilities, and personal growth slowly pulled them in different directions. What once felt effortless became a constant struggle, and the love that once glued them together started to fade. On August 22, 2011, Melissa made the heartbreaking decision to file for divorce, officially closing that chapter of her life. The split was painful, no doubt, but she faced it with her trademark honesty and grace. She spoke openly about the emotional weight of the breakup and the hard lessons she took from it, showing the world that strength isn't about avoiding pain, it's about surviving it. Through it all, Melissa stayed devoted to her children and focused on finding herself again. She rebuilt her world piece by piece, determined to live with purpose, clarity, and resilience. And just when it seemed like love might be something she'd left in the past, fate had other plans. On April 24, 2013, Melissa found love once more, this time with actor and director Tim Busfield. Their wedding wasn't a flashy Hollywood event. It was small, intimate, and full of real emotion. The ceremony took place at the stunning San Isidro Ranch in Santa Barbara, California, a place known for its calm beauty and romantic charm. It perfectly matched the kind of love they shared, private, peaceful, and deeply rooted in mutual respect. Both Melissa and Timothy had been married twice before, and together they blended their families, bringing 5 children under one big, understanding roof. Their bond wasn't about fantasy. It was built on shared life experience and the wisdom that comes from surviving heartbreak. Their relationship quickly became something special, full of honesty, patience, and genuine partnership. But even after years of peace, life had another test waiting for Melissa. By mid-January 2026, she found herself facing one of the hardest moments of her public life. Long whispered rumors about her private world finally exploded into the headlines, forcing her to confront the pain of having her personal life once again under the world's spotlight. For decades, Melissa Gilbert stood as a symbol of strength, honesty, and heart. Audiences saw her as the embodiment of warmth and resilience, an image she first built as Laura Ingalls on Little House on the Prairie, and later reinforced through her powerful advocacy and deeply personal memoirs. But this time, things were different, painfully different. This wasn't about her career, her health, or even her politics. It was about something far more personal: her marriage, her trust, and a scandal that left her world spinning out of control. On January 9, 2026, major U.S. media outlets broke shocking news that stunned Hollywood. A warrant had been issued in New Mexico for the arrest of Tim Busfield, Melissa Gilbert's husband and longtime partner. The report instantly sent shockwaves through the industry and across social media. According to law enforcement, Busfield was facing serious criminal accusations connected to alleged misconduct during the production of the TV series The Cleaning Lady. The claims were severe. Authorities said he had been charged with multiple counts, and the details described by officials were alarming, suggesting incidents that allegedly took place between late 2022 and early 2024. Statements from investigators revealed that the Albuquerque Police Department had issued the warrant following an extended inquiry. The story quickly spread nationwide, with every outlet digging for more information about what really happened. For Melissa, the news hit like a thunderbolt. A woman who had spent her entire life standing up for integrity and children's welfare suddenly found herself in the middle of a nightmare that went against everything she believed in. The situation wasn't just devastating, it was public, explosive, and deeply personal. Overnight, her reputation, her family, and her sense of trust were pulled into a storm she never saw coming. The sheer weight of the accusations left fans in disbelief, not just because of who was involved, but because of how drastically it clashed with the values Melissa had always stood for. In the middle of the chaos, Melissa Gilbert finally broke her silence, and her words revealed just how deeply this situation had shattered her. In a statement attributed to her, she confessed, "I am shocked, heartbroken, and struggling to comprehend the weight of what has been alleged." The pain behind those words was undeniable. But even in that heartbreak, Melissa stood firm on one crucial point: the importance of fairness. She added, "These are allegations, not conclusions, and the legal system must be allowed to do its work." Her calm yet emotional response showed a woman torn between disbelief and determination to let the truth come out the right way. Reports soon revealed that the investigation into Busfield had quietly begun months earlier, sparked in November 2024, when a doctor at the University of New Mexico reported concerns that led to a formal inquiry. For a long time, everything unfolded behind closed doors until it finally burst into the public eye. Busfield's legal team immediately fired back, calling the accusations false and claiming they were based on resentment after the child actors were let go from the production. The tension between both sides grew intense, and the public didn't know what or who to believe. Melissa handled the storm with visible restraint, refusing to be pulled into speculation or outrage. She stated, "I am not a judge, and I cannot pretend to know all the facts. What I do know is that this situation is deeply painful for everyone involved." Those words struck a chord, showing that she wasn't just protecting her image, but trying to process something impossible while the entire world watched. As the headlines multiplied, the professional fallout began almost instantly. NBC made the decision to pull an episode of Law & Order, Special Victims Unit, in which Busfield had appeared as a judge, explaining that airing it would be insensitive given the allegations. The irony wasn't lost on anyone. A show about justice and morality suddenly tied to a real-life legal scandal. Even Melissa herself reportedly felt the emotional punch of that decision, calling it overwhelming. The timing, the symbolism, the heartbreak, it all collided at once, leaving her world spinning. Melissa Gilbert reportedly said, "It feels like watching your life fracture in real time, piece by piece." Those words painted the picture of a woman standing in the middle of a personal storm, her world falling apart under public scrutiny. On January 12th, reports surfaced that police had still been unable to locate Timothy Busfield, 3 days after the warrant for his arrest was issued. The situation escalated fast, with the U.S. Marshals Service stepping in to assist in the search. Suddenly, the story wasn't just about shocking accusations. It became a nationwide manhunt, with the media spiraling into endless speculation about where Busfield could be and what Melissa might have known. As the rumors swirled, Melissa didn't stay silent. She addressed the gossip head-on, saying, "I have cooperated fully and transparently. I have nothing to hide, and I will not obstruct justice in any way." Her tone was firm. She wasn't here to play defense. She was standing her ground. Then, on January 13th, the story took another dramatic turn when Busfield finally turned himself in to authorities. The headlines exploded again, marking a new and sobering chapter in the saga. For Melissa, it wasn't relief, it was reality setting in. Turning himself in does not bring clarity or peace, she admitted. It simply means that the process begins in earnest. In one of her most emotional moments, she showed compassion where many might not. If children have been harmed, they deserve protection, compassion, and truth. Above all else, she said, proving that even amid heartbreak and chaos, her moral compass hadn't wavered. By confirming the rumors surrounding her private life, Melissa didn't lash out or seek sympathy. Instead, she faced the world with heartbreaking honesty and grace. She stood as a woman torn between love, disbelief, and a fierce commitment to accountability. "I am navigating this as a wife, a mother, and a human being," she said in her final statement. "I ask for privacy, restraint, and empathy for all families affected by this, including my own." As the legal battle continues to unfold, one thing remains crystal clear. Melissa Gilbert's strength lies not in denial or defensiveness, but in her courage to face the pain head-on. Her story reminds everyone that even those who've spent their lives under the spotlight can be hit by unimaginable personal devastation. And sometimes, the bravest act isn't fighting back. It's standing still, telling the truth, and letting time reveal the rest. If you found this story powerful, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and drop a comment about what you think of Melissa's strength through this storm.